Get away from her, you bitch!
These big screen characters have been adored for generations and will continue to be for generations to come.
I'm in a glass case of emotion!
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most iconic film characters of all time. For this list, we're looking at classic characters throughout the history of film that are well remembered, were critically acclaimed at the time of release, and who have left a lasting legacy on the silver screen.
Hate the smell of dampness, don't you? It's such a, I don't know, creepy smell. Come on.
Number 10, Forrest Gump.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Is there anything this man didn't do? Forrest Gump, the titular character of this dramatic rom-com, goes through the movie encountering various highly important figures and events throughout American history, all without the knowledge of their immense importance in time. Despite his strong naivete regarding many aspects of life, his forward-looking attitude gave us all determination to fight ahead and left us all in tears.
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
And thanks to an Academy Award-winning performance by Tom Hanks, Forrest will go down in history as one of the sweetest and most well-meaning characters in cinema.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I gotta pee.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
Number 9, Dorothy Gale, The Wizard of Oz.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
There's no place like home. So said this character on the silver screen over 70 years ago, and her charm and sweetness have remained with moviegoers ever since.
Lions and tigers and bears!
Oh my!
Released in 1939, this movie was notable for its use of the relatively new Technicolor process, and the character of Dorothy certainly helped usher in the color revolution in film.
You ought to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. 290 years a wizard will whiz, if ever a whiz there was.
From her ruby shoes to her trademark blue and white gingham dress, this heroine also helped bring in a new era of filmmaking as a fiercely brave character that is not afraid to take charge and stand up for herself. She proved herself a strong female role model for generations to come.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place.
Number 8, Hannibal Lecter, the Hannibal Lecter franchise.
Morning.
You might not expect a cannibalistic serial killer to ever be acclaimed and respected, but Hannibal Lecter is just so mesmerizing that audiences can't help but love, or at least be intrigued by him.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Most notably portrayed by Anthony Hopkins on the big screen, Hannibal is the creepy and calculating murderer who helps the FBI go after more important madmen currently on the loose.
If I help you, Clarice, it will be turns with us too. Quid pro quo. I tell you things, you tell me things.
Originally portrayed as an antagonist with limited screen time, Hannibal ultimately won over audiences to become a fan favorite. He is so good at being bad that he was voted the #1 villain of all time by the American Film Institute.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.
Number 7, Charles Foster Kane, Citizen Kane. Rosebud. Spouting one of the most famous lines in cinema history, and the main character of what is generally considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest film of all time, Charles Foster Kane can safely be regarded as one of cinema's finest characters.
Is that really your idea of how to run a newspaper?
I don't know how to run a newspaper, Mr. Thatcher. I just try everything I can think of.
Charles, you know perfectly well there's not the slightest proof that this armada's off the Jersey
Hello,
coast.
Mr. Bernstein.
Excuse me, Mr.
Can you
Kane.
prove it isn't?
Created and portrayed by Orson Welles, earning him an Oscar nomination, Kane is the rich and esteemed owner of the New York Inquirer.
I felt like a kid in front of a candy store. Well, tonight, 6 years later, I got my candy. All of it. Welcome, gentlemen, to the Inquirer.
Though he's portrayed as insanely powerful with a megalomaniacal ego, he is also deeply flawed and human. which makes him relatable and sympathetic as well as unforgettable throughout the ages.
I'm Charles Foster Kane! I'm no cheap, crooked politician trying to save himself from the consequences of his crimes! Dennis! I'm gonna send you to Sing Sing!
Number 6. Norman Bates, Psycho.
We have 12 vacancies. 12 cabins, 12 vacancies. They moved away the highway.
Psycho's main antagonist, Norman Bates, was loosely inspired by real-life murderer Ed Gein, so you know he's gonna be trouble.
A boy's best friend is his mother.
A deeply disturbed individual, Bates suffered extreme emotional abuse as a child at the hands of his mother, which later caused him to kill innocent people, especially women he's attracted to.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Not only does he dress in his mother's clothing, he also repeatedly stabs and murders the patrons of his motel, all while talking to his deceased mother Norma, whose corpse he keeps in the basement. If that doesn't make Norman one of the most troubling and unsettling characters in cinema history, as well as one of the most memorable, then we don't know what does.
They're probably watching me. Well, let them. Let them see what kind of a person I am. I'm not even gonna swat that fly. I hope they are watching. They'll see. They'll see and they'll know. And they'll say, why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
Number 5. The Tramp. A legendary character and insanely popular during the silent film era, the Tramp was extraordinarily played by Charlie Chaplin for decades, all without speaking a word. Chaplin's natural grace and body language, as well as his facial expressions, induced everything from belly laughs to tears of sorrow. The Tramp, portrayed as a vagrant, acts like a gentleman despite his social status, and also conjured not only strong emotions, but also intense social commentary. A vastly complex character that said so much without saying anything at all, The Little Tramp will be remembered as one of cinema's highest achievements. Number 4. Indiana Jones, the Indiana Jones franchise. Star of several movies and featured in multiple Disney attractions, Indiana Jones first became insanely popular over 30 years ago, but he continues to be revered today. Created by George Lucas, who was inspired by action heroes of the 1930s, Jones has been expertly portrayed by Harrison Ford throughout the years.
My name is Indiana Jones.
Dr. Jones, the eminent archaeologist?
Known for his trademark style, including his fedora and whip, Indy is especially famous for his ability to survive many perilous encounters, his biting sense of humor, and his extreme intelligence.
Nice try, Lao She!
Unsurprisingly, Jones has already gone down in history as a true cinematic star, and there he will remain. Number 3. Vito Corleone, The Godfather, and The Godfather Part 2.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Portrayed by Marlon Brando in the original, and Robert De Niro in the second film, as head of the Corleone crime family, Vito is a deeply complex character. While his job involves death on a daily basis, he is also very human, as he cares for his family and tries to do right by them, especially his son Michael.
I want you to arrange a meeting with the heads of the 5 families. This war stops now.
A deeply flawed yet violent man, Vito is one powerful crime boss and one truly iconic character for the ages.
You don't offer friendship. You don't even think to call me Godfather. Instead, you come into my house on the day my daughter's to be married and you ask me to do murder. Money.
Number 2. Darth Vader, the Star Wars franchise.
If this is a consular ship, where is the ambassador? Commander, tear this ship apart until you found those plans and bring me the passengers. I want them alive.
The Star Wars saga boasts many iconic characters, including the legendary Han Solo. But it's Vader himself who gets our vote.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Portrayed as a one-dimensional but cruel villain in the first film, Vader becomes progressively more complex and gray as the film series continues, amassing great acclaim along the way.
With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy.
I'll never join you!
He is one of the most feared yet complex villains in cinema history. And the plot twist delivered by him in the original trilogy is one of the best in cinema.
I am your father.
With his all-black attire, haunting voice, and dedication to the dark side, Darth Vader's cultural impact is astronomical, and his status as one of the greatest cinema characters is more than secured.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Only a master of evil, Darth.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
There's two kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns, and those who dig. You dig.
I only know that I love you.
That's your misfortune.
No, you complete me.
Number 1. James Bond, the James Bond franchise.
I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
You know his name, you know his number.
007 reporting for duty.
Agent 007 has been on screen for over 50 years, and his spy film series has become one of the highest-grossing franchises of all time.
Who are you?
My name is Pussy Galore.
I must be dreaming.
So far portrayed by 6 different actors under Eon Productions, James Bond has consistently shown us exotic locales, beautiful women, and exciting action.
007, are you all right?
Known as one of the deadliest and most charming men in cinema, always accompanied by handy gadgets and clever one-liners, the character of Bond and his films are known all over the world. Without a doubt, 007 has been ingrained into pop culture and is certainly here to stay.
You see what comes of all this running around, Mr. Bond? All this jumping and fighting, it's exhausting.
Do you agree with our list? What film character do you think is the most iconic? For more memorable top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Adios, Peter.